For the next session, we would like to welcome Pricilla Bilavendran. Uh, she is a test engineer working with Millennium IT Services and has an experience of over a decade in quality assurance. Moreover, she is also one of the global ambassadors of Women Tech Network. She would be speaking on the topic the unuttered unconscious biasness. To know more about Priscilla and to see her video interview, you can check the link given below. So, ma'am, now I'll stop sharing and the stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this Saturday evening, morning, whatever it is. Thank you so much. So as we go on, like my topic is more towards this unconscious bias. So that's how I have just named it the unuttered and the unaware unconscious biases, because we are not speaking about it in most of the places. Okay. So you'll get to know more about when we proceed with this. And before starting, I just want to say this disclaimer, because all the opinions expressed here is solely on the purpose of creating an awareness. And it's not just to hurt someone, because some words may be really strong I'll be using, but it's not in an intention to hurt or to create some disrespect to someone. It's just about creating an awareness about this entire diversity and inclusion. Okay, thank you. And yes, so today's agenda, what we have for today, first we will see a basic introduction about biases, like what it is all about, and then we'll jump into unconscious bias, like what it is about, and then as testers, why we should know, why we should have this knowledge about unconscious biases, and how this biasing is going to affect us both personally and professionally. And what are the simple tips to overcome or to mitigate those biases? And finally, we'll have some time for Q&A. Okay. To get started with, yes, of course, he gave a very good introduction about me. So it's just about, again, me. I'm a team leader taking care of a QA team in Millennium IT Services Malaysia. And thank you once again, GTR, for having me. And get to know me. Yes, I'm basically from Madurai, which is a small town from southern part of India. Currently, I live in Malaysia with my family. And some fun facts about me. Of course, I love biryani. Who doesn't like biryani, right? And I like traveling, meeting new people and trying different cuisines. And of course, I can recognize any nation's flag in Kabran, just because that's a perk of having a 5-year-old boy kid who is being so much enthusiastic regarding the scars and the national flags. Okay. Okay, jokes apart. So I just want, before getting started, right? I know I could see that there are 54 participants. Like, if it is possible, I just want you guys to relax. Wherever you are, just relax yourself. Okay, just close your eyes. I'm just going to tell a scenario, and I just want you to visualize a scenario. Okay, it will not take more than 2 minutes. Think that you are rushing for your flight. Okay, you are entering the airport, and you are being stopped by the security guard in the airport, and you are showing all the proof and the tickets and the passport. Okay, and then you are just rushing after the person, and you're going to your check-in counter. Okay, so another person is sitting in the check-in counter, and you're going to give all your documents, proof. And once the check-in process is over, you're rushing to your gate. Okay, and you're sitting there for a few minutes, and you get an opportunity to meet your co-passenger as well. So you came to know that that person is a doctor. Okay, just imagine and visualize whatever I'm saying right now. And then once when is the time, of course there is a call, and they're calling you for the flight, and you're getting your check-in luggage, whatever if you have, and you're moving forward to your flights. Okay, and in that time, of course, many flights and many airlines have this, right? So all the entire cabin crew will stand in the entrance, and they'll welcome you if you're getting in. The same way this airline is also doing this for you. They are welcoming you. The entire cabin crew is standing, the pilot, co-pilot, and the flight attendants. Everyone is there. They are welcoming you warmly, and you're so happy that you got into the flight on time and you're just going to sit in your seats. You can now relax. Okay. Okay. So I just want you to think, when I mentioned about the security guard who stopped you, how was your visualization? Was he a male? Was he a female? What was the age? What was the race? What are the things that you can think of? I wish that you guys can keep this chat box coming up. I just want to think how you guys were thinking about these personalities, okay? And when I mentioned about the person who was taking you for the check-in from the airlines, right? So how was that person? Just you can just name similarly like security guard, age 42, male, any Asian, Caucasian, whatever. You can just mention me that. And the second one is about your check-in counter person who was helping you. And the third person is about your co-passenger whom you meet was a doctor, and the entire cabin crew. How do you thought about the pilot? When I was telling about a pilot, was it a male or female? I just wanted to know that. Okay, so I got a response from one of our, it's 25 to 30-year male security guard. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, okay. Yeah, male pilots, exactly. So you might have thinking all these things, right? And when it comes to flight attendant, you would have never thought it as a female, like male one. It was definitely a female, right? So these are some factors. Okay, so just let's you might be right now wondering why this is happening and why your brain is able to visualize in the way, right? So let's come back to this later, the reason why. Okay, so before that, I want to introduce a term to you: bias. We might have used, heard, faced this word every day or almost every day to our in our life. But have you ever thought about the strong meaning of that? Yeah, as per the official meaning, this is what we call. Okay, it's a strong feeling of favor towards a person, or it can be even against us as well. So biasing is not just about doing a favor; it can turn against as well, or it can be just an interest on one thing or more than others. It's a common definition of bias. And when we talk about your human brains, right, human brains could handle only 40 pieces of information per second. But do you know what? How much we are receiving? We are receiving around 11 million pieces of information per second. Isn't it too much for your brain to handle? Right? So that is why now you can interrelate why your brain was handling or thinking default about male doctors and male pilots. Because your brain, or based on your previous experiences, you might have seen most of the male doctors, most of the pilots as male. So just based on your previous experiences, your brain is coming to a conclusion. So that is how this biasing is coming into picture. Okay, and your brain is being biased. And when we talk about biases, two basic things that you should be aware of: conscious and unconscious biases. Conscious biases are straightforward negative attitude people, some people who carry, and even they carry that as part of their identity, right? Their attitude, their behaviors, it was totally explicit. There is nothing hidden or something, so it's a total negative behavior which we can be aware. Okay, so this person is really biased, we can get to know about them. But when it comes about unconscious bias, it's an implicit bias, okay, which is really hidden. And most of the time the person who is actually hurting someone, they don't even know that they are hurting, or they are actually impacting someone's life. They doesn't know that. That's the scariest part of this unconscious bias. So your thoughts, sorry, okay, your thoughts and attitudes, it was beyond your control. That is why we call it as unconscious bias. And unconscious in the sense without your consciousness, right? So it's just happening out of your control. And just to detail more about unconscious bias, we have this snap of judgment when a person is crossing by, right? So we usually do this, and there is nothing to be ashamed of. We are all humans and we all hold biases. So there is nothing to be ashamed of. But only thing we have to learn today is like just to create more awareness about these unconscious biases. So just for this, because of this information overload, your brain is seeking for a mental shortcut. So that's the reason this unconscious bias is even born. So what you can do is like just with that limited information, most of the time, of course, we are making correct decisions, but most of the times, all these assumptions are leading to some incorrect decisions where it is hurting a lot of people. Okay. And when we talk about unconscious biases, there are a lot of types, or even you can call it as examples. Okay. There are a lot of examples as such. So let's go through some examples. The first one is like affinity bias. As the name suggests, you can easily relate what I'm trying to say here. It's about people who share similar characters or attributes, right? What you can do, definitely we'll have this habit. So say for example, when you're traveling somewhere and someone is sitting next to you and you're started chatting, and if he or she is also saying about like, oh, this Netflix series was really good, then you will obviously get a immediate connect with him. Okay, so maybe the flavors, whatever, which I wish, maybe this person is also liking. So maybe he's a kind of he's my kind of go-to person. So that is how your brain will obviously think, right? So when you are being biased towards a person or set of people who are sharing a similar set of characteristics with you, that we call it as an affinity bias, which is one of the very common bias which we face. And the next one is like confirmation bias. This is a little bit tricky. Why I say so is like, we all know there are a set of facts and this is our belief, and there is a kind of like a common area where this is the only area that we focus on. In the sense, what we will do is like, based on the facts what we know and based on our belief what we have learned from our childhood, our brain will see only this common area, okay, and we miss to see beyond that. So in that case, we will actually seek more and more information to confirm that what we confirmed is what is right. So in that case, you will be so focused towards your belief and you will really miss to hear what is happening around you. So this is also one of the common bias which we are facing in our personal and also in our professional life. And the next one, this is pretty straightforward, right? Beauty bias. It's common. We're all human. Obviously, when someone is pretty and attractive, if they are charming, definitely we'll think that they are a good person, and they might not have done anything bad, and we might be definitely we might be attracted to them a little bit. And it's a human thing. Obviously, it happens. So this beauty bias is a very common bias which is happening in our day-to-day life. And the next one is like gender bias. Of course, this is a deeper topic and also one of the sensitive and strong topic, I would say. Say, for example, when a woman is being so ambitious and if she is working towards a career, people will say like she's not taking care of the family and she's not up to the mark and she's not even a perfect mother and all those things. All the blabberings will come. But at the same time, when men are really focusing towards work, they call him as a workaholic person, dedicated and or career oriented and all those things, right? So which is like, when the behavior is same, but just because of gender, we are being addressed as different. Strong words, right? And also in some companies, even the pay scale is really different between men and women. I believe people are telling that days are changing, but I can see that there are places still there is this disparity in the salary. So I would say like this is also one of the common gender mostly we will face in our workplace. And the next one is about halo effect. This one is also something common which we are facing in our day-to-day life. Okay, say for example, I believe we have a lot of Indians, and maybe I can just tell an Indian brand. Maybe just take Fast Track. I think we know Fast Track is a watch brand, right? If Fast Track is launching a handbag or leathers or something else, definitely our brain will say like, if you are towards a Fast Track and if you like Fast Track watches, you will say like definitely this will be a good product because they are from Fast Track. That's because the overall impression you have over that brand, and that's the reason your brain is obviously thinking that's a good one. In case in the it's just a contrary, the reverse way. If you don't like Fast Track products, definitely your brain will say this is also not going to be nice, right? We can say multiple examples for this halo effect. It's similar to the Apple users as well. Say for example, if you go and check all the iPhone users, they definitely say like they cannot use other phones, and they are so much strict towards this using Apple products, right? Just because they really like and they are so blindly confident that they are the best, right? So in that case, the overall influence, like the impression of a product or a brand or a person or a group of person or a community, that is impacting your decision making. So that is what we call it as a halo effect. Okay, and now it's time for some statistics. Okay, I just want to let you know there are some statistics, which is because I can just say by words like biasing is definitely going to impact in a lot of places and all those things, but I need some stats, right? So Deloitte did an research, and they just came up with a report which is really explaining what happened or what how this biasing is actually affecting the workplace. So they said like 64% of people experience some form of bias in the last 12 months, right? And that too, if you see, 83% is indirect. Indirect in the sense it's a kind of unconscious biases, like people are doing it indirectly to them and without knowing their knowledge as well. And out of that 64, 68 really had a negative effect on their productivity. They said that they couldn't focus on their work, right? Because and they really lost their interest as well. So that's how 70% said that they don't feel like working more, and they lost their engagement at work as well. And 84% said that personally it affected their happiness, confidence, and the overall well-being. So this is something which we have to take care and which we have to worry about, right? We just can't say like biasing will exist and people can't change. No, we can't say that way. And we at least from now we shouldn't say that way. So, as testers, why we should be aware of all these things? I'll say, first point affects the quality of testing. What I'm trying to say about quality of testing is like, I'll give an example here. You are working with a developer who is actually you think he is one of the smartest developer you have worked on, and you have some sort of blind confidence over him or her. Okay, and you can definitely say like, oh, if this developer is doing that, definitely there will not be too much defects. The probability of defects is less. Obviously, this sort of thought process will definitely impact your quality of testing. So that's how we shouldn't be biased with any person. That's why I was telling this affinity bias before. If you know that person personally, or if you really incline towards that character or attribute which they carry, that will definitely affect your testing quality, and we have to really make sure that we are not being biased at this place. And team cohesion, why I'm saying team cohesion is like, of course, I will say like similar to my five fingers, or all the members in my team are equal. That's how I should treat them, right? All of them are equal, and I should believe that all of them are equally talented. Only then the entire team will be behaving in a good rapport, and we can proceed towards a greater delivery. Okay, and the third point is about, of course, when they are not happy, that'll affect their EQ, right? So obviously they might lose motivation, and they might not feel like working or giving their best, because either ways you're going to keep on supporting one person, and why should they be give or whatever they do out of the box, we are not going to do notice or appreciate them. So obviously it'll definitely lower their emotional engagement. And also, if all these things are happening, definitely your quality and your quality is hampered, and it is going to finally impact your client satisfaction. And the last point is about hiring. Okay, so biasing plays a very important role in hiring as well. You might have faced it, or even I have faced it as well, to be honest. So when the interview is starting, for in the first 5 minutes itself, we'll try to judge that person. If you are an interviewer, or even if you are a candidate, we have that habit of judging the person who is in the other corner, at the other end. So what I'll do is like, okay, in the first few minutes itself, I'll say, okay, so this person is trying to blabber something. I don't think this will work out. So, but after that, whatever right or wrong answers the person is trying to give, it might not reach my mind and ears. So, in that. In especially in hiring, we should be totally unbiased, and that's how you can actually fight a right fit for your team and also for your organization. And it's not just about testers, right? Biasing affects the entire. If all of the teams are getting affected, ultimately it'll affect your organization as well. And then, yes, of course, this is one of the very good quote that you can remember of. It's not just about every leader; it's about every leader and follower has to be willing to examine their own biases. Like I should at least accept, like this is what is me, and I know that I'm making mistakes around this area, and I should stop making these mistakes. So that's how it works. So first part of this session is even to about you have to create your awareness. Okay, so this point is about your mitigation plans, how to work on it. And under that, your first thing is your explore more about this biases, like go and do your research, because even I would say, like, I'm not a certified DNI coach and all, but what I did is, like, for the past years, in the recent years, I did a lot of research around this area, because I want my team to be happy, and I want to be a good team leader. I really wanted to have an inclusive team, and just because of these reasons, I started attending some trainings also internally, and that's how I'm here and talking to you today. So go and do your own research, okay? Explore more about this topic, and definitely you will get a very good idea, and you will definitely get to know, because there are many biases which you can't even think of. Like, there are a lot of types. I showed you just a few types, right? Few examples, but there are a lot of types. You can just go ahead and Google and learn about it. And the next thing is, like, instead of taking a quicker decisions, you can just try to think, okay? Slow down your process. Just slow down as a snail. Just think it of all the possibilities and then go ahead and decide. Okay. By slowing down, because most of the times while we are rushing, we might miss out something. So just slow down while deciding. And when it comes to self-reflection, what I'm trying to say is, like, sit and think, even as a lead or a tester or a test manager, what are the biases which you are prone to? What are, say for example, okay, I'm being little bit biased to the person who is speaking my own language. Okay, so maybe a local language. If I'm being inclined, I'm being bit inclined to that person. Okay, so maybe I need to work on that. Okay, so in that way, if you started doing a self reflection, that will definitely have a positive impact in your personal and also professional life. And the next one is about train your team. When I mentioned train your team, it's about first creating an awareness. Of course, it's not only you, right? Your team should also have that same awareness. And also there are a lot of trainings and courses available. So please ask your team to learn more about it, okay? And tell them why you are struggling to build this inclusive team. And that's how they'll also know the importance, and they'll try to work collaboratively between them. Okay. And yes, a final recap. So what we saw today, I know it's a wide topic, but if you are really interested to know, please feel free to reach out to me offline. First, we understood what are the common biases, okay, and then the types of biases, and then we understood why we shouldn't hold these biases. And the final one, of course, the changes will start only from you. It's not from somewhere. So you have to start the changes, and then you can start propagating to your team, because educating the team is one of the most important thing. We can start small, right? Only if your team is really healthy and they have a very good team harmony, that's one of the great success that you can achieve. And so before logging off, I just have one video for you, and I don't think you'll have this audio, but you'll have the subtitles and you can watch it. I think I'll have time.
Yes, yes, we have time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all for now.
Yeah.
So I believe it was really helpful. And I just wanted to quote one thing before I wrap it off. We're all born without biases. And if you see the past video, it was one of the emotional video. And you might relate that it was even the biasing is being formed right from the childhood. So we have to take care, and we do have a lot of responsibilities right now that we have to ensure that we are building a supportive society, and we should ensure that we are not falling into this trap. And I totally agree, it's a human thing, but what we can do is, like, at least from today, I believe all of the people who are attending the session will understand the power of this unconscious, or the threat the power the unconscious bias have to society, to our society. And you will start working towards this. So it's just about the creating awareness. That's the first step, as I mentioned. So go learn more about this unconscious biases. You can't even imagine how many people or whomever you're hurting because of this unconscious biases. So just go and do your homework today. Okay. And this is my barcode. So if you scan this, you will be directed to my website, and you can just get to know more about me, and just feel free to say hi in my social media handles as well. I'd love to meet you. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, hi Priscilla. This is Jyoti.
Hello. Hey, yes,
So
Jyoti.
meeting after a long time, right?
Yeah.
So wonderful session, and in fact, it was an eye opener.
Thank you.
Uh, being a woman, like even like we do face biasness, but I would actually like to hear one of your experience wherein you faced a biasness, maybe in your career path or somewhere,
Mm.
and how did you handle that? How did you overcome it?
Mm.
I would be actually interested in hearing that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you for asking this to me. Definitely, you are right, and I would say, like, it's not just about women who are all like there are it's the general society, people who
This
are
is
really
general,
weak.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm
exactly.
just
They're all
trying to
facing.
generalize this question, maybe
Sure,
just
sure, sure,
an
sure, sure.
example.
I'll just say my example. You're right. So it's one of the common example. What I faced is about my maternity break, and people think, especially women, when they are back from maternity break, they really treat it's about maternity is something like. Only just because like it's designed in a way and women can only just do that, and it's the entire society's responsibility, and especially the workforce responsibility, to understand more about that, and why she took a break. And if we have some valid justification, I believe they should understand us, right? So I really had a hard time justifying my maternity break, and that's one of the reason that I'm building my profile very strong right now, Jyoti.
Really nice, wonderful, wonderful. So, Alankrit, do you want to take over?
Jyoti, if I could add, one of other example that would be probably relevant to so many is that, when women are on
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm,
maternity, during those 9 months, if any appraisal cycle is happening, most of the things will be overlooked, and only one thing would be considered, that yeah, she is pregnant and she is going to be, going on maternity break. So all other things, take over this particular thing. And I think I have seen it for myself and for so many other colleagues. But as a leader, as a manager, I try to, take care of it wherever possible in my remit.
exactly. Thank you so much, Anwar,
That's
for
really
bringing that.
nice. Glad to
Exactly,
hear that. Yeah.
exactly. Maybe I'll
Like,
just add one more
this
incident
is
as well,
like a
Jyoti.
very
Mm,
sensitive topic, and like it's a never-ending topic if we
exactly.
really see when right, maternity break definitely is one of the phase, like most of us are being affected in one or the other way. The
Exactly.
entire performance, like it gets like wiped out and you just have to start afresh. Yes, I do
Exactly.
agree that.
That's
And
why I always like use a mocking sentence here, like as if people will treat like women were back from coma and they don't even remember things. That's how they'll treat this maternity.
exactly, exactly. Right. We still have few more minutes.
Mm.
In case if anyone is having any question, feel free to ask. This is like one of the sensitive, and thanks, Priscilla, for bringing up this topic.
Thank you, Jyoti.
Really good
Thank you so
topic.
much. I really wish our audience is getting the core and crux of it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. That's why I really am iterating all the time. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You
Yeah.
just should keep in mind that this is something we can work on. At least today, we can start. Just to work on your biases, and you can definitely change. not in one day we can change everything, but gradually, definitely you can change yourself. Then you can change your team, then people around you. And definitely, I believe then one day the world will be a better place for everyone to live.
Yes, so I just want to read out one feedback. Of one is from Sanjeev. So he's saying that it's a good session. We need to take care of these things in upbringing and dealing with children.
Exactly.
So Anupa has also given her feedback. She's saying that it's an interesting topic and well presented, Pricilla. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jyoti. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Really nice. Maybe Alankrit, you can take over.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so thanks a lot, Priscilla ma'am, for your valuable session.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
it was indeed a very eye-opening session.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the entire GTR team. You guys were amazing. Thank you for the entire awesome coordination. And thank you, audience. Thank you for joining today.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So I would